Some years fly by so fast that it's easy to forget all we've actually accomplished. Between work, chores, and raising kids, it can feel like we're never doing enough. Too often we focus on what we didn't get done instead of celebrating small victories.
So we wanted to change it up a little bit this week and talk about how easy it is to forget about how far we've come. I feel like so often homesteaders feel like they're falling behind, feel like they're not doing enough, and maybe feel a lot of failure, and that can be hard to deal with. And we definitely didn't accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish this year. We didn't meet our goal on the amount of pounds of meat that we wanted to put in the freezer. We are trying to plan out how we're gonna feed our entire family of 6 for the next 12 months without buying any meat from the grocery store. There's a couple different ways that we could look at that. We could feel like failures, we could feel like we completely messed the whole year up, or we could compare ourselves to last year, realize how much we actually accomplished, how much more we did, and how much closer we got to our goals than we did the previous year. Now, those feelings of failure and defeat don't only creep into homesteading, they creep into every area of our lives. Take it from us, a couple who's gone through separation, divorce, and found our way back together. A big part of that is that we weren't celebrating our small wins. We weren't celebrating all the beautiful things that we had going for us. We were only thinking about our failures. We were only thinking about how discouraged we were. I think that applies in this situation too.
For many years, we just threw seeds into the ground with no understanding of soil, compost, or the needs of individual crops. Over the last couple years, we started to really dive into these things, and the results have been amazing. We've had healthier plants, healthier soil, and much larger harvests.
It is a brisk fall morning out here in Michigan. I just came out here to kind of take stock of the garden and figure out what we need to do to get it closed up for winter. A little recap of what we did differently in the garden this year. For starters, we started everything from seed. That was a really great experience. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. We've never started every crop from seed before. Normally we're getting pretty much everything from a nursery. It all went really well. It was an awesome experience and I'm glad we did it. We're going to do it again next year for sure. I think being able to have control over every part of the growth process was a big deal, and it ends up being a lot less expensive than buying plants at the nursery. My biggest recommendation for someone just getting started and looking to be more self-reliant and grow more of their own food is to start really small. So whether you have a small backyard and you can only fit 1 or 2 garden beds, do that and focus on 1 or 2 crops that are going to provide for your family. What are your staple crops? So you have to determine that first. For us, it was tomatoes and potatoes. We didn't have a great potato crop this year. I don't know if it was the weather, I don't know if the conditions weren't ideal. The tomatoes did really well, and we've never had a lot of success with tomatoes before. So this year we went with all indeterminate varieties. Now, a couple different types of tomato. Indeterminate just grow and grow, and they don't have a set amount of fruit. They just keep producing fruit until they can't anymore. Whereas determinate tomatoes are your more common bush tomatoes, and there really isn't anything you can do to get them to produce more fruit. So we did all indeterminate, which is why I put in these cattle panel trellises back here, and the indeterminates just grow and grow. We were very impressed with how tall they got and how much fruit they produced. So I'm really happy with that. Next year I might add another trellis. I'm not totally sure yet. We planted these green beans here very late in the season, and they do have beans on them now, but they're not the size to harvest. So I'm just hoping that they can make it through the upcoming frosts here. And so far, so good. They've produced and they're still growing healthy. Next year, the one thing that I will definitely change is once we start the seeds, I don't want to put them in the ground until probably June 1st to June 3rd, whereas this year I aimed for May 15 to May 20, just following the scheduled last frost dates. So I'm definitely going to do it a couple weeks later. We had such a weird year for weather in Michigan. It started off, it got really warm in the spring, then it got super cold again, and then we had, I think, frost into June, which is very late for us. Then it got super hot instantly. Everything just seemed like it grew a little bit odd, and it was delayed in ripening, and things took longer than they normally would. Growing produce, raising meat, all of it can seem like a lot of work. If you are like us and you like knowing what you're putting in your body and you like knowing what you're feeding your kids, there's nothing more rewarding than starting something from seed, watching it grow into a food that ends up on your plate, on your kitchen table. It's something that we're gonna do for a long time, and it's just sort of becoming a part of life that we really enjoy and we really take a lot of appreciation in. What are you doing? Boy. So we talked about our wins and our losses in the garden, and another thing that we set out to do this year was to raise enough meat so that we could go the entire year without having to buy any from the grocery store. And this was actually a fail for us. So we, I think, aimed to put 500 pounds of chicken in the freezer, and that would require us to raise 2 batches of chickens 2 separate times. We didn't have enough time to get to the second batch, so we actually ended up putting less than half of what our goal was with that. Another instance of where it would be really easy to just get super discouraged, but we put more meat in our freezer this year than we ever have before. We raised pigs, we raised lamb, we raised chickens, and we were able to put over 400 pounds of meat in the freezer, which is nothing to be discouraged about. So I mentioned this before, but we have a couple different deep freezers, and this is the one that we have in the garage where we have easier access just for weekly meals, different chicken, pork chops, things that we're going to use throughout the week. We also portioned out a bunch of vegetables from the garden this year. Now here we have squash, over here we have carrots that we grew, and then we have some onions here as well, and those are just super easy to grab during the week, and they're already diced, they're already cut up, so we just have to heat them up, throw them in a pot of water, and we have our meal ready for the night. I also brought some chickens from our larger deep freezer that's actually out in the shed, and we keep those in here so we can grab them as we need them. So this whole freezer behind me right here is filled with portion vegetables and meat to grab throughout the week, and then I'll take you to the one out in the shed where we keep more of our bulk meat storage. Now, if you are someone that's looking to get started in being more self-sufficient, something to keep in mind is that raising meat is an entirely different animal, pun intended, than raising vegetables. You have a living thing that you're dealing with. You have to make sure that it's taking in the right ingredients, taking in the right nutrients in order to result in a healthier food for you and your family. And to do that, in our case, we actually utilize rotational grazing. So we're constantly, whether it's the pigs, the sheep, the chickens, we're moving them around almost every day. That gives them access to fresh grass, so they're not sitting on their manure for too long. It really reduces the risk of sickness, illness, diseases in your chickens, and it gives them access to those readily available nutrients that are in the grass. All right, so we're out at our main deep freezer here, and you can see it is filled almost to the top with chickens. We've got pork sausage lining the side over here, and the further we dig down, you're going to get into your lamb chops, pork chops, bacon, any of the other products that we got from the pigs and from the lambs. So basically, as we go through the food that's in the freezer that I just showed you in the garage, when we need to restock, we come out here and grab from this one. I would keep both freezers in the garage, but I get a little bit worried about losing power or tripping a breaker, and I don't think there's enough power going to the garage. I check them every couple days just to make sure we didn't trip a breaker or anything like that, because it's a really bad situation if you notice and it's too late and you lose all your meat. The biggest challenge that we had with chickens this year, with our meat chickens specifically, was predators. Now, we've had issues with owls in the past. I don't think we had an issue with them this year, but we did have an issue with raccoons. Oh my gosh. Dead. Dead, dead. Bunch dead over there. Raccoons getting in here. I thought the fence would be enough. Electric fence all around it. We lost a lot of chickens to raccoons, and it doesn't take long. They can knock out 5 or 6 of them in an evening. We ended up having to bring our Great Pyrenees out to the pen where we kept the meat chickens. Once we brought him out there, we didn't lose any more chickens, but it was still a hard lesson learned because we had to lose a lot to learn that lesson.
Of all the new things we've done as a family on our homestead this year, I have to say the thing I'm the most proud of is how much progress we were able to make with canning and freezing our food. This winter, winter, we'll have fresh salsa, applesauce, and tomato sauce that we can grab right from our pantry, and we can feel confident it's the best quality food we can feed our family, with a little bit of extra appreciation because of the work we put in.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh.
I think the biggest takeaway from all of the lessons that we learned this year, our wins, our losses, is that even though it's important to make adjustments and think of the areas that you maybe failed this year and make those adjustments to where you don't make the same mistakes next year, don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Don't forget to celebrate your victories. At the end of the day, raising one chicken off of your own land that you took care of for its entire life and then it ends up in your freezer, that's one meal for your family that you're not getting from the grocery store. You're one step more self-sufficient than you were yesterday, and I think that is the most important part, and so many people forget about that. So many people don't do that, and then they get stressed out, they get burnt out, and they stop trying. So it's super important to celebrate those small wins.